There are 3 portrait painting techniques that will help you elevate your painting skills. In my many years of painting, these 3 techniques took my painting skills a few levels up, and I want to share them with you. But I also want to give you a few tips that will help you along with your painting work. There is always that issue of confidence that we need to have in whatever we do in life. When we have confidence, then we don't hesitate and our painting just flows. Confidence comes from the fact that we know what to do. And that exactly is the first technique that we will learn. Let's get started. The classical masters of the Renaissance and Baroque period painted in layers, and they defined a process to their work. The classical painting method is unique. There is a clear process to it, and clear process always helps us gain confidence in our ability to achieve the end result of the painting we want. Let's learn that technique and use it in our own work. The classical masters defined 3 stages to their painting process. Let's talk about them. At that Renaissance time, the first layer was called the idea. Today we call it the drawing stage. I myself preferred the way it was called back then. It just fits so perfectly and describes the actual start of the painting. Anyway, in that layer we draw, usually in charcoal, but you can always use a pencil or a brush, whatever works for you. This is where we roughly describe the idea of our painting. If you want to learn more about this, check out this video on my channel. After this is done, and we feel more or less good with the drawing, comes the second layer. The classical masters called that stage the monochromatic stage. Today we call it the underpainting. Let me know in the comments which one you like best. Well, this is the stage where we paint the drawing in one color. Usually this was done in gray, but you can also use other colors like burnt amber or raw amber. This stage is really important because this is where we describe the light and shadows and the entire range of values. You can think about it like a black and white view of a color photograph, meaning it's all there except the colors. Once again, if you want to see a tutorial of how to do this, check out that video on my channel. The better this layer is, the easier it will be later to finish the painting in color. So take your time and work on it until you are fully satisfied. The third and last step is what the classical masters used to call the working up stage. What we call today the last layer or the third layer. Once again, I like the classical masters description much better. This stage is the final stage, the layer in which we apply color to our monochromatic painting. In the Renaissance time, they used a glazing technique. Glazing is the use of transparent paint to cover the monochromatic layer. Today, we can of course use that technique, but we also use colors that aren't transparent. As we have the values available in the monochromatic painting, it helps us stay right on target. And once again, if you want to see a complete tutorial of how to do that, check out this video on my channel. Okay, so now that we know the process and the technique of the classical masters, it is time for us to move to the second technique for today, and this is about how to mix skin tones. Okay, so on our palette we have white, yellow ochre, vermilion red, burnt sienna, transparent red ochre, Indian red, ultramarine blue, burnt amber, black, green, gray, and orange. Now, the most basic combination of skin color that we can create comes from burnt sienna and white. Another combination that we can make is made out of orange, white, vermilion red, and burnt amber, and this gives us a different style of skin color. Now, of course, because our skin contains a lot of yellow, adding yellow ochre to these different combinations will improve the skin tones completely. And so these various color combinations can help you build your own skin tone. And if you want to learn more about this, check out this video on my channel. Well, if you made it so far, please consider subscribing and liking this video. And if you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. Now let's move to the third and last technique in this video. It is more a suggestion that comes from my many years of painting. And it has to do with the type of brushes for different stages of your painting. In the first stage of your painting, always try to use the largest brush that you can. Try to hold it from the end of it as far as you can from the actual brush. Hold it as if this is an extension of your hand, and try to stand as far as you can from the painting. Always take a few steps back to measure and look at your painting when you're doing that. This will help you to see better if you have made any mistakes, because when you stand close to the painting, it is very difficult to see the proportions, the perspective, and any mistake that you are actually making. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.